guys, this is the next video in my Colts journey for my son. So in the last video we went under the exam under anesthesia, and then they were not 100% sure if it was Colts or cancer. Just the testing and exam itself was inconclusive. The doctor in his gut and clinically he thinks it is Colts. So it was a totally different tone from what he initially said when we were just getting prepped to do the exam. He was talking about doing surgery, scheduling, and preparing for treatment. But after the exam itself, his tone switched to talking about prosthetic and potentially removing the eye and the potential for cancer, just because of the fact that they are not sure. And my son also have basically limited to no vision. So the eye is almost blind, and there's a potential for cancer. So the only thing he kept talking about was just removing the eye. But he did say we didn't have to make a decision yet. So now this is the 2 weeks follow-up. During the exam, he did some steroid injection to the eye. They wanted to see how that would perform. So we just went to an appointment today, and honestly, I was already mentally prepared to have the remove the eye conversation based on where the last conversation left off. And my partner was as well. She was bawling. It is not an easy day by any means to, I don't know, see come to an end, and the finality of it is pretty scary to say the least. But once we got in there, he took another look at the eye, did his usual exam, the same thing that we did the first time. They put a little clip on the eye that they pry it open so you can look inside. It's kind of terrifying, like it leave a little mark on the eye and it goes away, but baby screaming is very hard to watch. But during this exam, he was actually surprised by how well my son's treatment, how he reacted to the treatment. And we were surprised as well. He was he had the retina started attaching, and I don't think he was expecting that. Like, I can tell his tone from the last time that I spoke with him after the exam. It was sound very down, defeated, and talking us down the path of just removing the eye just to avoid the cancer and the lack of vision, things like that. But this time around, when he looked at it, like his pitch went up, and yeah, he was very surprised. He even said it, so he was surprised at the result, how everything reattached. I mean, so that's a good sign. And he even said, yeah, just how remarkable the change was. Like, those are the words that we were not expecting to hear come into this appointment. And he even said that we should put this in a book just because how well it turned out. And the thing with Colts is, since it's so rare and everybody react differently, all the treatment is a little bit different. There is no single recipe for treating Colts. And in this particular case, I don't know, it was a little bit of a breakthrough, and it was a nice sigh of relief. Just the whole last month it's been exhausting. Like, after getting discharged from the hospital, it's been a whirlwind ever since. And then being tossed in so many different directions, like, is cancer, is not cancer, is cancer, is not cancer, we're removing the eye, we're not removing the eye. But so that was a relief to hear. And he even mentioned, like, maybe he will start doing this treatment more with other patients in the future. So at bare minimum, at least my son is somewhat contributing to the world already, just with how he's responding to this type of treatment. And the only thing that's a little bit different, that why I think typically they would go in, they would do laser and some cleanup and things like that, but they didn't want to do any of that last time because there's a small potential risk for cancer, and then they don't want to do anything crazy and irritate the eye and irritate the cancer, let it spread. And then just because of the fact that the treatment responded so well, it basically confirms that it is not cancer. Because if it is cancer, it would behave differently and it would not respond to the treatment at all. So we looked at the picture of his eye from the first time we visited. It was super cloudy, red, and you can't really see anything. And then this time, a lot of it cleared up, about 90% or so. So the retina is attaching and things were looking pretty promising. So that was a relief. So now the conversation is being shifted to maybe he doesn't need surgery. So for surgery, I guess there's surgery to remove the eyeball and the constant surgery to actually treat the eye itself using laser and other options. So the injection is working okay, so they're likely just gonna maybe do that. But so we have to schedule another appointment in a couple weeks for another exam under anesthesia, just so they can go in and take a look at it again. Because the first time they went there, like I mentioned before, they couldn't see one way or the other. It was too cloudy and it was inconclusive on what the diagnosis might actually be. But since the treatment responded well, so now they want to go back inside and take a look at it again. So that's the next step, and then hopefully from there we will at least decide the course of treatment from there. Likely more injections, but he was very optimistic, and his voice changed significantly, so that was nice to see. Like, I don't know, after all these bad news and things like that, it's nice to kind of hear his tone, and walking away with good news for a change is nice. But then at the same time, like, the more I think about it, the more conflicted I am. Because I know with coach treatment, I guess it all depends how the patient responds. Maybe there might be another miracle, but there's always a 50% chance down the line eventually treatment might stop working, the eye might hurt. I don't know, it might get to the point where you might need to remove the eye anyway, so that would just always be a possibility for the rest of his life, which is kind of sad. And I guess the thing is, I kind of went into it thinking we're going to have the eye removed, and then that's pretty much it. That's going to be the end of it. I know there's going to be other appointments to kind of put like a conformer in the eye for the prosthetic, and then the resizing and things like that. So I was already mentally prepared for all that. But that's just more like a maintenance thing and checking in and things like that. But now we have to go the treatment route. I guess you technically don't have to. The removal is still always an option. But I know my partner like to hold on to hope and do the treatment and see how everything's going to work. And I guess even the doctor as well, he's probably going to lean towards the treatment route. Just the order of priority has always been, one is to save the life, which we did, because it's no longer cancer, so it's no longer a threat, life-threatening. So that's priority number one, to save the life. Priority number two is to save the eyeball, which we're doing right now. Again, it wasn't promising last week, but now it is, just because how my child responded to the treatment. And priority three is the vision. He is not optimistic at all that there's going to be any vision. He's blind to either limited vision, be lucky get some shadows or something, but at least the eyeball is there. But I don't know, we'll see how it goes. But once again, still back in the thick of it. We'll take it a day at a time. We'll come back next time to see how the exams turn out and if there are any more surprises. But at least for now, he still have an eyeball, which is good. Surgery is scary, procedures are scary, but if the treatment is working, then it's working. Hopefully it'll work for the rest of his life, and I don't know, hopefully the body don't reject it or anything at some point, but I'm just thinking so far into the future. But for now, I'll try to be present and be optimistic. Glad he's still alive, glad he can still see with one eye, and we'll see how the rest of the future goes, but hopefully he'll still live a normal life. But we'll go from there. I'll just take the positive news and enjoy it for what it is, and it's going to be a long journey. We'll take it a day at a time and keep you guys updated. I know codes is scary, there's not a lot of information about it, so I just want to document the journey and document my decision, my thought process. So if you ever go back and wonder why we made all the decision we did, all the answers will be here. It's been a tough journey, but we're doing this for you. Right or wrong decision, we're doing what we think is best. So keep you guys posted on this journey, and we'll go from there. Appreciate appreciate the time as always. Remember to like and subscribe if you want to keep seeing more contents like this.